Welcome back to another day of Sew and Tell. Now, yeah, a lot's been going on again. I'm just filming this it's Monday the 2nd of August and it's 20 to 2. So yeah, a lot's been going on already today. So I don't know what state. I'll probably look a bit shiny or whatever. I did put a bit of lip gloss on before I came on. So yeah, I have got a little bit of sad news. I'm gonna get this out of the way because I don't really want to end on something so negative. But we lost one of our chickens. It's really sad, and I'm sorry to start my video like this, but I just thought I want to move on to the more positive things. And it's I don't know if you remember, but it's little Betty, my little fluffy white chicken, and she's a silky, her breed, a bantam. A bantam is a small chicken, and yeah, it was. I'm going to save you all the gory details. I did basically, a fox came in the day and took her, and she was still alive, and I went after the fox. And fox got away. I did later on track the fox down because I know some of the routes they take, and I saw that the fox still had Betty, and but Betty was obviously dead. But I'm not gonna describe, what I saw. Yeah, it was just, your beloved pet. I'd had Betty like would have been 5 years this September. Yes, I was, I'm quite attached to her, and I talk to her every day, so I don't, because this has happened yesterday evening, I don't know if it's really, really kicked in, the real loss that I feel at the moment. I think it's going to get worse as the days go by because, just not being there, and obviously we don't really want to let the chickens out now. My husband's out in the garden at the moment, so I'm going to let them out in a moment, but I said, just if you go back in, just throw a bit of corn in the run and shut the door. So thank my lucky stars, I've still got 2 chickens, and I didn't lose all of them, because unfortunately the evening before, my neighbour, they forgot to shut their chickens in at night because they had visitors, and she thought her son had done it, and they lost all their hens. And I'm feeling the sense of grief for them as well, because I can see their chickens from my kitchen, so yeah, it's just, yeah, and they've lost all of them, and they had more chickens than me, so yeah, it's just really upsetting. So yeah, we've had a bit of a moment together, my neighbour and I, so yeah, it's awful, but I'm going to move on now to more positive. Well, there's a little bit of negative, but generally all positive. Well, actually, I'm just thinking, is this negative? Actually, right, I made the boxer shorts. Right, now, do you remember I said to you I was going to make some lunar lapping boxer shorts in the boys pattern? So you saw Alfie's last week. I haven't redressed him yet. So basically use the same pattern, but I didn't have to hem them because this has got the lacy edge. So I just left the lacy edge overhanging, but it didn't work. Right. So on the face of it, they probably look okay. And there's the back, and you've got the little hole for the tail to come out of here, but I don't know how well you can see this. Hang on, let me try and show you the way it's worked out. Look, it's not level, so the front, where the seam meets the back seam, it's not level. They're longer, I've obviously not taken it into consideration. However, now, because they're zigzaggy looking at the bottom, and it's on the inside seam, you can't really see it. So they could be used. However, I've tried them on Luna, and they do look very sweet coming out of her, under her dress. But she has already got French knickers that I made for her. So I'm thinking the next girly animal I make, I think I'm going to save them. Yeah, basically, for the next girly animal, so there'll be something ready to go. So that's great, isn't it? So, yes, there'll be one less item I've got to make when I make another animal, which I might make the green Luna, the one I got in the summer box. box, the subscription box that I'm not a subscriber to. It's just a one-off box. So that's the lunar lapping kind of news. What else I've got to tell you now? Things that I buy are going to slow down, right? Basically, you're not going to see as many buys, just because of like financial situation. And I'm trying to cancel a few things. So I've messaged the Crafty Monkeys to say I'll be cancelling that subscription. And I've had my seam work has just gone out. But that's paid for the year now, so I might as well keep it. And I've got a Cricut Access subscription, so you can have a few SVG files in that subscription, but I don't use it very often. I had it more for the children, but yeah, then we're not using it a great. It's nice to have, but that's about £6 something a month, so I'm going to cancel that. I'm just thinking if I've got any other subscriptions. I think that might Chanda. I've got like a membership, so yeah, I've put it onto a 21-day holiday, but I'm thinking I'm going to phone them. I couldn't find on the website how you cancel it. So yeah, the buys are going to slow down. However, there are some things that before like things change, I had ordered things which haven't arrived yet, so we'll have those up and coming. And obviously I'm getting my Mandy Shaw every month, so I'm not saying I'm never going to buy anything, but I'm not going to be buying as much. But I did have a delivery that I ordered before things changed, right? Now, one of them, now I got this in the sale off Sewing Street. It's a fabric panel, right? And it's a beach themed. Now, I already own 2 of these. Now, the plan was initially, when I bought the first 2, I was going to cut out the designs and do a bit of a patchwork thing, and I was going to put some sashing and border pieces and things in, right? However, when I got it, I kind of thought, oh, I don't know, because, let me show it you. If you have a look at it, they're great, the squares look. Hopefully you can see that. But at the top and bottom, you've got this piece. And I think it was going to be weird. Once I'd cut all these pieces out, the squares, I don't think I was going to be able to do much with the bottom piece and the top piece, because it wouldn't be enough. So I thought, and then you're going to be cutting into it. So I wasn't sure. So what happened is I was watching Sewing Street and they were doing a clearance, a fabric clearance, and I got the opportunity to buy a third. So what my plan is, I'm going to leave this fabric panel totally intact, and I'm going to sew the 3 of them together. I haven't decided on what the seam will be, but I'm going to sew basically 3 of these side by side, and it will kind of make a ready-made patchwork, won't it then? And then I'm going to wad it and back it and bind it. But obviously that's expense, isn't it now? So hopefully I've got some wadding in, and I think I might have something I can back this with as well, that I bought when Sewing Quarter was closing down. I bought a bolt of fabric. I think I bought 2, one for Christmas and another one. This was like a few years ago, and I haven't cut into them yet. So I think I have some border fabric, maybe even the binding. So my plan was with this is to make kind of a beach kind of throw. You know, if you're sitting on the beach and say one of the children gets cold, I get cold, kind of throw it around you, and then it's beach themed, isn't it? And I just thought that would be a lovely idea. So I might shall I pre-wash it? Maybe I might pre-wash them. Yeah, I haven't quite decided, but pre-washing might be an option. I'm trying to find the plastic it was in now. Right, I think, was that it? No, I've got some other plastic here. I'll pop that inside. Right. So, in that order, there was something else. And it was this, right? I really, obviously this cost a bit more, and I must admit, when I thought, oh gosh, you know, money's going to get a bit tight, I thought, oh, I wish I hadn't ordered it now. However, Look, my husband is a big football fan. He's got his football themed garden room, and I thought, oh wow, it's got footballs on it. They look like goalie gloves and a goal net in the back. And I thought, oh gosh, I could do football themed decor for my husband, like cushions, and just do some really fun things in the garden room. And I thought he's going to absolutely love it. And I thought, because I've got a whole bolt, what I thought I might do is make myself a match day dress. So say if like there's some exciting football match on or something that I want to watch, say it's like Europe or the World Cup, I'll have my football dress to wear for football occasions, or say if we went out to watch football or something, I could put my football dress on, couldn't I? So yeah, I'm quite excited about that. So possible dressmaking and home decor and things. So that's really exciting. So at least I've got plenty to be getting on with, haven't I? You know, so and right, I bought this on a whim, right? The only jersey they had in clearance was this. Now, I haven't even got it out of the plastic yet, but if I can find it, I'll pop a photograph of it on the screen. That was on the website. Now, I didn't see it on the show. This, if hopefully the picture's coming up, that is how, I'm sorry if it isn't there, I'm going to look like a lunatic. That's all I saw, and it looked horrendous really, but I just thought, you know what, I'm always needing jerseys and things, I'm just going to go for it. Anyway, it's turned up today, and I don't think it's too bad, so I'm just going to get into it, and I might cut a bit out. I tore into it, but it's still in a bag, so I might cut another bit out. Right, and this is what it looks like. I don't really know. It didn't tell you what it was. I think it said it was cotton. It might not have given me any information, you know. I remember thinking, this is so vague. Why am I buying it? But it was kind of quite exciting ordering it and not really knowing. So, wow. One downside to it, it hasn't got much stretch. It's got minimal. Yeah, let me get my stretch ruler. Probably between 20 and 30% stretch. So not a lot. I think it was going to have to be like loose t-shirt, loose jogging bottoms for the house or something, I don't know. So yeah, we'll just wait and see what I decide to do with it, because I don't quite know, because it's only arrived today and I didn't really have much information. I didn't know the stretch, I don't know the composition, they didn't give you much information. Right, what do I want to talk about now? Right, my iron. Right, now do you remember I was complaining about my iron, right, that I'd lost the instructions? Right, let me just get it. Now, can you remember in my last video, I told you that I'd melted it, and then I'd got molten plastic onto Alfie's boxer short fabric, which I did manage to get it off. I think I got it straight away. However, I didn't know how to use this and make it cordless, and I said I think I've burnt the wheel. I don't know, but that one doesn't seem to go as round as well. However, now thank you so much to Deborah and Amanda Little. Now, Deborah messaged me first and she took a photograph of the instructions. So thank you very much, Deborah. That was so much appreciated. And then just after, Amanda Little from Sewing Street messaged me and kindly left me a link so I can download the instructions off the internet. So thank you to you both so much. That has been so useful. And now I can use my iron properly. Now, what I found out is you can put it on the stand, from what I gather, when it's warm, but you've just got to make sure it's on properly. I think I was just kind of just placing it on like that, but it says in the instructions you must place your iron on correctly. So what, I had a look at it, you kind of have to make sure it's touching the bottom, and if you look at it, it kind of sits away from that base. It's not resting on that plastic. it's been held away. So I think that's what the problem was. Mine was resting on that outer plastic and melted it. So that's not going to happen now. And I was right when I thought that you do this for the cordless, but you flip up the switch here to the top, which I didn't know that, but you get it out then like that. You don't slide it out, and so that bit stays behind, and then you can use it cordless, which I've not used it cordless yet, so I haven't had the full experience of it. And then when you're putting it back, I suppose you could stand, when you're not using it for a second, you could stand it up like a traditional iron. But yeah, you just basically click it back in like that. And if you want to send it back to corded again, put that switch back down, and then you slide it out. So basically when it's corded, it's a sliding action. And when you want to use it cordless, it's a kind of, I haven't put it all the way up, a lifting action like that, and you're coming away. So yeah, I totally know how to use it now, so I'm really looking forward to trying to use it cordless. Now, I haven't been spending much time in here at all. I have done the sewing that I've done is I altered the dress that I wore to the wedding, which I'm going to show you next, and I sewed those boxer shorts after. Ooh, I'm going to break the iron, aren't I? Right, hang on, bear with me. Sorry, I think that's another bit cut out now, isn't it? You know, all that ragged and things. Right, now, we went to the wedding on Saturday, my auntie's wedding, and we actually, it was all in a hotel, so everything was in the hotel, which was really nice, and we stayed there the night and then got up and had a nice breakfast, and yeah, we had a lovely time, and yeah, and you know, you have to try and, like I do, but drink alcohol. And you do have to try and pace yourself, which I was trying to do. And I was drinking a fair few glasses of water off the table as well. But I would say I was quite comfortably drunk, but not making a show of oneself. I'd like to think anyway. But yeah, I basically danced the night away. And often I was the only person on the dance floor because I'd just rather dance really than just sit around. But yes, I was dancing away. I had a lovely time and danced to all the cheesy songs and tried to dance to coordinated songs that I don't know, but tried to do them anyway. You know, that kind of thing. Some of them I know. I was saying to my husband, get them to put Saturday Night on a Macarena, and then I'll put them all to shame. What it is, because there's all you know, newer ones now that have got dances. And I don't know the dances. I'm a bit old school, you know. I think you really show your age when you're at a disco, don't you? And I can quite happily dance to 60s and 70s, 80s, 90s, and I can dance to anything in modern day. But when you know these dances to these old songs, you know, then the young ones look at you and they're like, you know, they don't think, what is this dance, you know, kind of thing. So anyway, so yeah, my dress. While probably mentioning the dancing, I'm really glad I altered it, because I don't think I'd have been able to dance in it like I was actually. So what shall I do? So what I'll do is I'll show you a photograph. Well, I'll tell you how it happened actually, how I got this dress. We was in our local town looking for things for my husband and our eldest son to wear to the wedding. And my husband said he wanted to go into Jules' shop, and he was upstairs and I was downstairs looking at the ladies, and I told the lady what we were doing, and she said, oh, you won't find anything for a wedding for yourself in here. And I said, no, I didn't expect to really. I said, they're in here, so I'm just having a browse. I said, I'm quite aware that you're more kind of more daytime kind of wear. But she actually recommended a shop to me, a little boutique just across the way. So we went over there after, and there was a dress as soon as I walked in that I liked, but it was just looked a bit too long, and it was classed as an alter neck, but it's got a bit at the back as well. But from the front it could look like it's got a round bit alter neck, but it's the same at the back. It's got an elasticated waist. It's polyester crepe with a bit of elastin in it, the fabric. I did check it, and it was long with a ruffle on it. Right, now I tried it on. I thought, yeah, I like the colour. And what happened is, basically, I said to my husband, I'd like it, but I will have to take it up. There's no way I'd wear it this long. It just wouldn't suit me. So he got to see it on long, and my son did, right? So I hacked over it. I cut basically the ruffle off it, right? I'll show you a picture of it because I found it on their website. So I'll put some pictures in of the lady wearing it, right? So hopefully those are popping up. So I basically cut the ruffle off, but I kept it intact so the gathers didn't come undone. Cut about 11 inches or a bit more off the main body of the dress, tied it back on, because I kind of thought, why would I want it, leave a seam allowance. Then I sewed the ruffle back on, but I had to take some of the ruffle off because the dress is more narrow at the top than the bottom. So obviously the ruffle then was too big because I wasn't regathering it. It was going to be staying the same. So I had to kind of sew it and then see what I needed to take off it. So that was basically it, really. So it wasn't a huge amount of sewing. But what I'll do is, so hopefully you've seen the lady in how it used to look. Like, obviously I don't know how tall she is, but I'm not mega small. I'm 5'4", so I think if I was an inch smaller, I would be classed as petite, as in height and things. But I can wear petite quite okay. But yeah, so these, hopefully, I haven't actually shared any pictures of the wedding yet. So there's some pictures that I've had taken with my boys, which it wasn't great with me because I'm a bit. They were already standing for the shot, and I handed over my phone, and then I had to squeeze in, so I was a bit like, what do I do here kind of stance, not looking too natural, trying to squeeze in all head on. And then and I had some taken with my husband and as well and things. So yeah, but I haven't shared any photographs of us anywhere yet. But yeah, I hope you see my boys. So they all look smart, don't they? So we did have a giggle actually. I'll put a photograph on now of my husband and our 3 sons. Now I don't know which order. So my husband obviously is the eldest person in the photograph, and my boys were saying, because I hadn't seen him in his outfit, they said he looked like a casino owner in that outfit. And I said, yeah, he does. They said I could imagine him with a cigar, and I said, yeah, I could imagine that actually. And then my eldest, he's wearing the black suit with the red tie. He chose his own things, and I said he looks like Japanese mafia in his. And our middle son, who actually looks taller in this photograph actually, he was wearing like kind of denim-y, chino-y white things with these navy shoes with brown laces and a navy shirt. And I said he looks like a Colombian drug lord in it, right? And we also all have a bit of a giggle. What could they look like? And I said Jack, the youngest, in that he's like wearing black and quite a dark grey. He looks like a hitman. We said, or maybe a waiter, one or the other. But I think he probably thought hitman sounds a bit cooler, doesn't it, than a waiter? But yeah, it's quite nice to see them all dressed up, bless them. It's nice, and my parents were there as well, which is really nice. But I don't think I've got a photograph of my mum isn't massive on photographs. I'll have to see if my mum took any photographs as well, and see if she's got any for me that I could share or anything that she likes. So yes, that's the dress basically. So I'm really, really happy, and my mum said I looked lovely in it, so that's really nice. My family didn't say anything. My husband, I said, do I look okay? And he said, oh yeah, you look lovely. He says you had to fish, And when we, my youngest and middle son first saw my husband and I, when we walked into their hotel room, they didn't even look at me. And it was all about Dad, what he was wearing, kind of thing. And I did mention to my husband, he said probably because I think you look nice all the time. They probably not used to see me like this. But my eldest son, he I didn't have to fish for a compliment. He said I looked nice, which was nice. And he liked these old earrings that I was wearing and stuff. So yeah, it was just really lovely. But was quite tired yesterday. We wanted to go to a bowls open day because we would love to do something like that with the boys. But yeah, we've missed the open day now, so we might have to wait another year, unfortunately. So is that it for now? I think so. Did I show you these? I can't remember. I ordered these a while ago and I've had them a while, but I don't know if I forgot to show you. These are House of Alistair and I got them from Create and Craft, and it's the geisha pattern. Well, yeah, it is geisha. How to get geisha top pattern, right? And a kimono, Japanese inspired, aren't they? So yeah, I don't know when I'd make those, if I've got suitable fabric or whatever. But there is a little bit of an unfortunate thing. We've got, right, it's kind of like a thing that you dress behind, and we have it in the bedroom in front of the window, but we had the an air cooler in there and it was taking up a bit of space with all the heat we were having, and my husband said it's a bit in the way, so he got it out on the landing, and today I've come in here and I found it, and it's basically a barricade in front of my fabric. So, and I only noticed it today, and I said, thank you for the barricade in front of my fabric. And he said, well, I had to stop you somehow, didn't I? The cheek of it. So I'm going to see in a moment if I can try and find it up. But regarding sewing, before I sew anything, I'm going to have to really tidy up this table. I might be able to do a little bit of sewing today because I've peeled all the potatoes and chopped them, and I haven't got really much more to do really for dinner for later. So I might be able to do a bit of sewing today. That'd be lovely. And I think I've made a decision. Right, let me get the fabric. Bear with me. My mum gave me this dress, didn't she? And do you remember I was saying I was going to make a t-shirt out of the bottom? But I've realised where I need to have the dress to still be able to wear it as a boob tube dress. And the t-shirt in question, because it was raglan cap sleeve, even with a cap sleeve, there just wasn't going to be enough fabric, unfortunately. Well, I've had another idea. I think it's called the Lunar Tank, and I'm sorry I can't remember the designer, but I remember it's a free pattern and I know I've got it somewhere, right? So I think I'm going to do the Lunar Tank out of it. And I know it's what it is. I didn't realise what a small top it is because I've only seen it in like a bigger version, but I can't remember her name. I found a new lady to follow on Instagram that does sewing. She's quite interesting. She does like all these, it's a bit like, I don't know if you've ever seen TikTok. Like I have got a TikTok account, but I don't use it, and I haven't posted anything on it, and I don't go on it. I just did it on a whim. I think I'd had a drink next door and I got badgered into starting an account kind of thing. But it's like that kind of style, and a bit like reels. If you've seen reels on Instagram, do you know when people are doing like music and they're kind of dancing away and it's flicking? It's a bit, she does like that kind of style thing on Instagram. But she had made the Lunar Tank, and she's quite slim, and it looked really tiny, like looked quite, not like showing any flesh kind of thing, but it looked quite a small top. And it hasn't got sleeves, and it's like a round neck, and I think that might work. So I'm definitely going to look at that pretty soon, because obviously it's summer, isn't it? And I haven't forgot my recreation outfit. I've got the fabric, as you've seen before, that I plan to make, try and recreate. I'm not going to be able to recreate it extremely well, because if you look at it here, see this seam? I probably won't do a seam coming down here like she has, well, the designer has, because they've done it, because they've used a different kind of stripy fabric there. The stripes are all going horizontal, but it's a different kind of red fabric. But I might just do mine, just a solid piece, and then use the stripy the other direction to do an edge and a binding round the neck and the cuffs, but obviously I don't know exactly. And my husband said, oh, if you want to do it, I think you should really do the belt. But I don't think he realised what kind of work doing all those eyelets is. And my crocodile isn't working all that well. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the belt, but it's adding extra pressure, isn't it? And these are the Fifi shorts that I've made, Tilly and the buttons. Now, these were the first pair I made, and at the time I felt, my husband said they looked too big. I felt like they were quite big. They were the size 2 with no alterations, basically, and I didn't end up finishing them off because of that. But I don't know what I weighed or what I measured up at that time, I'm not sure. And these are the second ones I made, and I basically did, these are the size 1, and I did finish them other than and I put a hook and eye on there, look, I think that's what you call it, so they could be worn. Oh, I've got something on there, but I never put a button on it. Do you know the jeans button? I've yet to do that, but I've got those now, which I told you about. So, yeah, so I think dressmaking, I think I'm going to do those. Now, regarding the laptop bag, I'm not going to be able to do it, basically, at the moment, because the Crafty Monkeys, even though it's like an online thing, they don't keep the content. Once the month is over, they end it. So you've got the opportunity to download things, and I did download what I need to do the bag onto a hard drive, but I haven't now got something. Well, actually my husband's, do you know what, if he doesn't mind, I could plug that external hard drive into my husband's computer and access it that way. So, yeah, there are possibilities, but it's a shame, isn't it? I couldn't believe it. I was going to make a laptop bag, and that would have protected the laptop, because I told you in my last video somebody's tried on it and they've wrecked the screen, and now I want to make a laptop bag for a laptop I can't even use because I've got to get the screen fixed. So that is pretty unfortunate, really, isn't it? So yeah, I feel like I have had a bit of bad luck lately, but you know, we there's all, it's not major, there's always people worse than yourself, isn't there? You have to find the positives in life, crack on with the positives. It's all positive. That's what we've got to think, haven't we? So yeah, but I'm not getting an awful lot of time to sew at the moment, really. It's just been great. It's this wedding. I think now the wedding is over, even with all the cooking I'm having to do, it might help a little bit now the wedding's over, that I can kind of just concentrate on those things rather than keep going out shopping and getting clothes and haircuts and things. And we went to the barber twice because the barber wasn't there the first time, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we ended up in our town like 4 days in a row in the afternoon. So yeah, it's just, and you just don't get anything done, do you? So that's where I'm at the moment. So what I'm going to do is, do you know what, I'll come back when I've done something. I've done something to show you. That would be really nice, wouldn't it? If I've got something to do. And I'm probably going to make another commemorative chicken to represent Betty. So I don't know. I was going to make another chicken anyway, another fabric chicken. I don't know if going forward I'm going to make a stuffed chicken every time I lose a chicken, because I might always be a chicken keeper and it could get a bit out of control, couldn't it? I might need a new bedroom to keep in the chickens, you know what I'm saying? The stuffed chickens with the chicken's name embroidered on it. It could get a bit out of control. So you have to be realistic, don't you, on what you're doing, with things you're making and where you're going to put them and things. So yeah, so that's what's happening at the moment. And my husband is digging away. Now he feels guilty that he didn't get the fence finished because, it could have stopped it. But I said, I said, I've told you, I didn't say that to him. If you'd have done that fence when you said you were going to, a bit of fine. But I said, no, you can't think like that, And my neighbour actually, so I've had two guilty people this morning. My neighbour feels guilty that she didn't tell me that the chickens had been eaten on the night, and her chickens. And I said, well, do you know what? If you'd have told me, I wouldn't have thought about the day, because we haven't been getting them in the day for a long, long time. And and yours, and they've all been okay. So do you know what I'm saying? I probably would have let them out anyway. So don't you worry about that. And then I've had my husband feeling guilty that he didn't get the fence finished the weekend before when he said he was going to, but because he chopped a load of things down, so it's quite open at the moment. I said, but just what, you can't think like that. These things happen, don't they? So we have to move on. So anyway, I'll see you in the next bit. Bye.
Morning, Your Highness. Morning, Fergus. Chancellor. Your breakfast.
Changing, not only green, red, celeste. I just want to show you a little thing that I do when I'm sewing binding around corners, is I cut little snips into that edge and just go shy of the fold line, just to ease it around those around those corners, and it sits much nicer. Welcome back to another day. Now, I do feel a little bit like the bearer of bad news at the moment, right? I remembered that I'm doing the commemorative project for Genome, the 100 years, and I've got my little pack here, and I thought I'll get stuck in because I drew out my design, and I've looked at the date that you've got to send it back by, and it's the 2nd of August, and it is now Wednesday, the 4th of August. So I've missed the deadline,
yes,
but
today is Wednesday the 4th.
Okay, did you hear that? Thank you very much, Siri. Yes, Siri was confirming. Today is the Wednesday the 4th. So I'm not going to be filming for long at this present moment in time. What I'm going to do is, I could get this done this week, I'd say. So I might email the lady if the email address is in there, and say if I get it done this week, will it be too late? Because I think these getting sent to Japan, so I'll just have to see. But yeah, I'm a little bit gutted about it actually, that but if I can find out that it will still get used if I get it done this week, I will make that this week. So you might have seen I was doing a little bit of sewing and watching a Christmas film. That was the last Christmas film I've got recorded from the Christmas in July. I just can't believe it. I didn't record any more, and we're in August, so there's no more on now. So I have to wait for the real Christmas now, won't I? But yeah, never mind. But yeah, it's a lovely little project I was making, and it was out of the Mandy Shaw Secret Society for this month's, and it's this. So it's this lovely little roll. What does Mandy call it? Mandy calls it the cotton sewing roll, and it's really tiny with these little wooden ends, and it's got S, which I guess is for S for sewing, and the needle and the thread, and it's basically, she's got a photograph, and it's to keep one of these in one of these Lana threads. So what I'll do is I'll pop it in there. Now the only thing I haven't done is, Mandy tells you, see there's a bar tack. I've made a bar tack there. Mandy wants you to put a bar tack inside, so when you put your thread in, you get the end of the thread and run it through. But I only finished this last night, so I haven't done it. The only thing I've done a bit different is I stitched my binding down on the machine. So I machined it on one side and machined it on the other. Mandy said to machine it and then slip stitch it, but you know what, I just wasn't in them. It wouldn't have took very long, but I just thought, oh, I'm not too fussed about it really. It depends what kind of mood you're in, doesn't it? So, and it was my first time really sewing, apart from adjusting the dress for a while, and I think I was like trying to speed it along kind of thing. So yeah, and it's so lovely, and I've made these wooden end things before, and I'm pleased to say I didn't break a hand sewing needle sewing this, which I have when I've done some of the others. I'll show you some of the others I've done with the wooden ends. This is one of my others. I've mentioned this fairly recently to you, and this is to keep. Actually, Helen, you might be interested to see this. This is how I keep my threads. Because Helen was on about making some plastic ones to sell, and she watches my channel, but I buy these off Mandy because I'm into the rustic. They're like a wooden, well, they're MDF, but they look a bit wooden, don't they? And yeah, I'm into the kind of the rustic look more so than the plastic, if you know what I'm saying. And these fit perfectly for this holder. They stand up and they've got the wooden ends to match, and you fit them in like that. So I hope that's useful, Helen. But yeah, this is a Mandy Shaw project, and this is to basically keep your nice special threads in. So those are, so that's another wooden end, and you might be able to spot some up here actually. This might have been the first one I made, maybe. This is the really big one I made. It's got a metal clasp on it, and just get into this a moment. Yeah, I haven't got anything in it, and this has got a pocket inside, and that's a Mandy Shaw. That was probably called the sewing. No, I don't know what she called. They're all something roll, cotton roll, you know, they've all got different names. I think this might have been a secret society roll. So I think this was a project I bought as a kit with the supplies. I think it was a kit. Yeah, it was. And then I made that, and then when I was in a secret society another year, we got the instructions and the wooden ends to make this one, but I think I had to source all my own bits. And this one is a bar tack with a button. Yeah, and I definitely know that I definitely sourced these bits myself to make this one, apart from the wooden ends. And I think Mandy might have gave us the foam, if it was foam. I don't think it was wadding. Yeah, it might have been foam. So yes, I've got 3 now. It's like a mummy, daddy, baby, isn't it? Yes, so I've got 3. And as I say, I don't keep anything in these. I just keep them, like, you know, stuffed up here. So no doubt I'll have I might keep that in my sewing box, because I know it's got my Lana thread in it, but I could stick that one up there. I do keep this in my Redwork sewing box because I need it all the time, so maybe I'll keep that one in there as well. So what time is it now? So anyway, is there anything else I wanted to talk to you about? Yeah, I haven't got anything else out yet. I've still got a bit of mess on here because I've been making that little roll. Some all messed up again. And actually, you have to, there's no template for the rounded corner, so I use my Mandy Shaw mug. You know, very authentic kind of thing, you know, to do the rounded edges. I basically got my rotary cutter round it to do the rounded edges on that sewing roll. So anyway, I might do a little bit of footage of my garden showing you what kind of state it's in at the moment. I was helping my husband with it yesterday afternoon, and I would have helped him today, but he's out at work all day today, so yeah, I'm not going to go out doing that in the garden when he's not here. So and I'm going to Pilates now, so maybe I'll do a little bit of sewing later, but I've got to think about dinner and everything, so I'll have to probably peel potatoes and things. And I have had something awful happen last night. I feel such an idiot. I wanted to do my own chicken breasts and things last night, you know, do the breadcrumb myself and everything, but I ended up buying some ready ones from Waitrose, and I preheated my oven, and do you know what I did? The chicken was meant to be in these chicken breasts for 20 minutes, but I put them in for half an hour, but I put them in when the oven was cold, so I preheated the oven with the chicken in there. And I don't know when I think my husband threw my oven thermometer away with the last oven. I don't think I've got another one, but I can't find it anyway. And so I've ordered another oven thermometer, but the chicken wasn't totally cooked through, and I gave it to my we was going to be having the chicken as well, my husband and I, and my eldest son was at work, but we ended up having some sushi because we spotted it in the shop. My husband said, oh, I like the look of that, I'd really like to try some sushi. Like, I already eat sushi, so we had the sushi and they had the chicken, and they ate most of it before they told us that it wasn't properly cooked. And I felt awful, and it had been in 10 minutes longer than it had said, and on the temperature. And I just think, maybe they just, I like to put my oven on an hour before, really, to heat up properly, and I just think the oven hadn't been on long enough. So far, so good. They've not shown any signs of illness, but I do think it can, like, I can't believe that if we'd have been eating the chicken, I'd have said, stop eating this now, this isn't cooked properly. But we didn't have it, and they just carried on eating it. So I've looked at what could happen to them, and they could get, vomiting and diarrhea and things. But they feel fine at the moment, and I've checked them this morning, so fingers crossed they're going to be okay. But I've looked it up. If they do get those symptoms, they could, as long as it doesn't go on more than 3 days, then they won't need medical assistance, and they've got to stay hydrated. But basically, they didn't have any symptoms, but basically I felt sick all evening, and my stomach was just turning, and it was just because I think I felt so awful that they'd ate that meat, and I felt totally to blame. And my husband said, I just can't believe. He said, what, don't they realise it's just not like, it wasn't like the same as normal. But I can't blame them. It's my fault, isn't it? So yeah, I feel awful about it, but fingers crossed they're going to be okay. Anyway, I'm going to go, and I'll keep you updated on the children's health, and I'll let you know what I sew next, because when I looked, I'd only got about 35 minutes of video. So and actually I've managed to put some photographs in of Jules and the shop I got my dress from, because we had to nip back into town yesterday to pick up some photographs that my husband had printed, and we did our food shopping there as well. So yes, I took a photograph of the boutique and Jules to pop in my videos. I hope you like seeing those. So I'll be popping back soon when I've got a bit more to show you. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Right, this is the lunar tank that I was telling you about, and it's by Helen's Closet, and it appears that I've printed out the instructions, and I've had the pattern properly printed out, and I'm guessing that was from Guthrie and Garney. So, but can you see what I'm saying now about this pattern? The top looks really big, doesn't it? Do you know the way it goes out? So I don't know if I'll be able to make this either, but I could always narrow it down. But do I really want to do that? Do I want to make it properly? So this is an option, but I have got another free pattern. So I'll actually, if I can find the photograph of the lady that was wearing this, I'll put the photographs in this bit of video for you. Now I'll get the other pattern, which is a possibility, but it all depends on the stretch of the fabric as well, and what these patterns need. Right, here's the other one. This is another free pattern, and it's the Kirsten Kimono Tee. Now, I'm looking at that and I think, gosh, yes, I'm sure I could get it out of that, but it does depend on the length. Maybe I'd have to shorten it, but it's a grown-on sleeve, isn't it? So yeah, that might not be a bad idea. So, and it says it must contain, stretch unknown, must contain elastane, that says. So yeah, that's another possibility. So you might be seeing that, or you might be seeing the lunar tank. So I don't know if I've seen this made up by anybody, I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll let you know how I get on. Right, welcome back. I think I'm going round in circles at the moment. Right, when it comes to my sewing, I'm just getting nowhere. So what's going on? Well, I think I showed you a little bit of footage of what's going on in the garden. I've been helping my husband, so it's been rather busy. Because we've basically, all the fence on the left-hand side is done in the back garden, and the second half of the back garden on our right as we're looking out, but it's this bit up here that needs doing. But we had an old wall that was starting to fall over because of a yew tree that was growing, and it was just needed redoing, so we put in a fence. So it's amazing how many bricks from a little wall and what it looks like, but we're going to be using it as hardcore, because our property, it kind of is on a slow hill. Basically, you wouldn't really realise it, but starting from the front, the drive is gradually going down to the house. The house obviously is level, but then it's a bit of a drop, and it keeps dropping till we get to the final part of the garden. You don't really notice it. If you was to come here, it would just all look flat. But if you look like at the fence panels going down the garden, they just go down a little bit more. It's just very, very gradual. So why am I telling you this? So basically, when we do the extension, we need to basically use hardcore to build up that back end, because we're taking the house out further. But the plans have all been given the okay. We're good to go now, so that's good. But we're not quite ready, and my husband's doing it himself, so it's going to be a slow burner. And we're just trying to use, recycled things at the moment, just to try and, do it as cheap as possible, because we haven't got like this budget. Here you go, here's this budget to do it. It's just, as and when. This is how we've done our whole house, actually. We've never had this big budget. We've just bought little bits as and when we can. So anyway, right, the lunar tank, right, I was showing you this. Now, I showed you the picture of that lady on Instagram, and it looks like a tiny little top. Now, there's two views. There's view A and there's view B, and it's just one's longer than the other. So I thought, well, I'll go for the shorter one. So I've traced out, I attempted to trace the pattern out the other evening when I showed you a bit of footage. But my son said, oh, I've left my charger at work. Could I drive my car to work? And then a piece of paper falling, and then drive over to his girlfriend, and me drive the car back. Because remember, if you've been watching my previous videos, my son is learning to drive and he's got his own car, so it got abandoned. So then this morning I thought, well, I'll do it again, but he had a driving lesson, and then he literally had to come back and go straight to work. So then he's drove his car to work with me in it, and I've had to drive it back. And I've got back and I've traced the pattern, and it's Friday the 6th of August, right? But anyway, I've traced out this lunar tank, and apparently it's the short version, and it needs 40% stretch. Now, I've checked the stretch of the fabric of that dress my mum gave me, and it would stretch to 40%. It looks like it goes a bit white and not very good, but you know what? It's not going to work, basically. It's not going to work. The size of this piece, right, and the dress, this dress must be so straight. That's the dress at the bottom. It's just not going to work. Obviously I've got to do it on the fold like this. And I haven't even put it up against my fabric. I'll do it now. No, just not a chance. Right. So basically I got that free. Was it free? It was free. I think it was free. But I think I got the free pattern. Basically, it was a free pattern, the black slate pattern, but it's a one size only. So that's the thing with the free black slate patterns, they're one size only. So if you can purchase them, they're not much money, but then you'll get the other sizes basically, and you get something that you can print out with the instructions. Where the free one, you don't really get instructions you can print out. But then I've gone for the lunar tank, which was free, but I did pay to have it it printed. But that's not going to work either. So am I going to get a top out of this? So the only other one I can try now is this one. This was free and the stretch is unknown, and it's the 101 Kirsten Kimono Tee. So do you know what, I've printed this out on my printer, so I'm going to piece these together. And do you know what, they're grown on sleeves, there's no separate sleeve, so this might be a possibility. It does look quite loose, and I could have it shorter, couldn't I? So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to piece all these up together and then cut it out my size, or trace it first depending on what I want to do, and I'll let you know. But I don't know, is it going to be this video 6 minutes? Do you know what, I've got 49 minutes of footage and this has taken 6 minutes. Right, I will get back to you. Whether I'll have a completed top for this video, I do not know, but I have got to keep it to about an hour. I've got a little bit of time to come back to you. So next bit you see will be the final bit, and then I'll have to continue this in my next video, so see you in the next bit. Right, welcome back to the final part of my video. Now it's 12 midday now, so I've got to finish for lunch, so I am going to finish the video. I just thought I'd mention to Mary Angela before I go as well, thank you so much for telling me what gift aid is. If you wonder what I'm going on about, you'll know that I went to the charity shop I mentioned in my last video, and we didn't know what gift aid is. Well, I found out now gift aid means if you're a taxpayer, you can tell the charity shop that you are, and then they can get some extra money. However, when I told my husband this, he said, not only did you embarrass me by telling them that, you know, I wasn't your husband and abandoning me, now you've made me look like I'm jobless as well, because he said he wasn't gift aid, and obviously he's a taxpayer, but he said no, so he looks like he's got no job either. So it's quite funny, isn't it? Anyway, what's gone on? Right, oh gosh, I've cut the dress, right, I've put it on. I wanted obviously lots of fabric to make a top, so I've lopped it off now. So this is what I've got to play with. So I'll talk about the kimono, the Maria 101 Kirsten Kimono Tee in a moment, but what I've done is I've put the dress on underneath. Now I have got a bra on, which I probably won't wear a bra if I wear this dress, but I think I'm only going to be wearing this as a beach cover up now. I think I've got it too short, but hang on, I'll just stand up. I've got it on under here. I've just quickly put it on. So this is the dress. Now I do look quite busty in it because I've got this busty kind of looking bra on, but hang on, let me stand up. Right, look, it's a bit short, isn't it? I don't know what my husband's going to think, but yeah, I think it's going to be. I haven't hemmed it yet either. Wow, the beach cover up, I could leave it raw, really. It's not going to freeze it. But maybe when I've not got this bra on, it might sit a little bit lower, maybe. But yeah, it is a bit brazen looking. I must admit, I do like mini. I think I would have fitted in the 60s if that was the mini 8 time, you know, quite nicely actually. I could see myself, you know. I know my auntie, my mum's older sister, she used to like iron her hair with an iron and things and wear all the mini stuff and that. So yeah, I think I'd have fitted in with that kind of era. So anyway, so that is how my dress is looking now. Rather short, beach cover up now, isn't it? So excuse me, my nose is running. Right, so I've got this to play with, so it's a little bit easier now to see what I've got. I probably could do with cutting down that seam, and then it will make it really easy. Right, I'm going to do that now and come back to you, bear with me. Right, I'm back now. So I've got this. Now bearing in mind I've got to fold it in half. And I'll have to line up stripes as well, won't I? So I've got that's been cut on the wonk, look. do you know when it's been cut in the factory? I'll lie each flat. Yeah, look, that you can see it's been a bit cut on the one, that is, but that's it sitting flat. And this is the other piece. So I think I might be able to get this top out of it. What I might have to do is do the wider end, the top end. I might have to play around a bit. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'll show you what it looks like. Now, this is the back. Can you see that shape? That's how long it is. Actually, how long are my pieces of fabric? I might be able to get the full length out of it, actually. And this is the front. Now, I've cut out the large, right? Now, the reason I've cut the large out is there's no seam allowances in this pattern. It says there's no seam allowances. So what you'd have to do is trace it out and then add your seam allowance that you want to use, which is great because some people might want 3/8 of an inch, which is really good for the overlocker. Some people might want 5/8 of an inch, which is probably better for the sewing machine. However, I just decided I was just going to not be too fussy about it, just size up. And it was about 5/8 of an inch larger that going up. So yeah, so I don't know. So, and it doesn't tell you what to stretch. It just says to use something with stretch. It says, but neckline. It says you can finish the neckline with either ribbing cut from the t-shirt fabric or with a binding cut from the fabric as well. Oh, hang on, my husband's calling me. Right, welcome back. Now, I had to stop for lunch and things, and I've been chatting with my neighbour in the garden. Now, you'll have just seen a little bit of video. That is basically a very young chicken and a very young duck, which I've managed to have a little bit of a hold of. Actually, I'll pop a photograph of my youngest son now holding the duck. Now, they're not mine. They're in my neighbour's garden, and because we're putting in the fence, we've been out chatting. I've been in a garden, but she says they're not hers. She's looking after them while they move, and then they're going to have them back because they can't have them in their current house. But I think they've tricked her relatives, because she was saying, I'm not having any more chickens after the foxes had eaten them all. But I think they've kind of they've turned up with this chick and duck basically and forced them on her. But it's been very nice holding a lovely fluffy, because it's not all feathered up yet, and it's just gorgeous, it is. So, because I've looked at the length of this video and it's gone just over an hour, I'm going to leave this as it is for now, and I'll let you know if I manage to get the Maria Kirsten kimono t-shirt out of it. When I had a quick look at the little bit of video that I'd done, and I don't know about if I'm going to fit the sleeves on. I'll go and have a look, and I'll in my next video you'll see if I manage to get this top out of it, and hopefully there'll be other things to show you. And I'll just let you know I've started doing my red work blocks from Amanda Shaw. I've started stitching the C up now, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I'm worried that they're not all going to fit at the end, because the first two blocks I cut to the size it said, but this time I couldn't cut to the size it said. I've had to cut to the line because it wasn't going to fit. So I might have to redo the first two when I get to the end, if I go by the lines that are on the transfer. I don't know. But anyway, so we'll know in a year's time when I come to piece it all together. We'll see what happens. So thank you so much for joining me in this week's Sew and Tell. And I'll probably get filming once this is uploaded onto YouTube and things. I'll probably get filming straight away and tell you what's happened with this. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.